As a quick little recap, so far I've created the basic design and layout for my website, built my camera model, and coded all the logic to display the image carousel to choose between different categories of my photos. The one thing right now I'm not really happy with is the gallery view, because it just doesn't really fit in anymore, and I want to change that. The good thing is I already have an idea. Take a look. Now I want the user to interact with the camera way more, so it just isn't there for nothing really. So what's gonna change exactly? Well, the first step is gonna stay the same as before. The user can still click the camera, the images drop down, and you can scroll through the carousel. But then, as soon as the user chooses a category and clicks on it, the camera spins around so the user can see the display of the camera. And instead of the old image gallery view, you can now see these images inside of the camera display as if you're really using a real camera. Okay, so how do I approach this? First of all, implementing the camera spin with all of the code I already wrote is quite easy. Basically, you can split it up into a few different steps. First of all, I need the camera to spin as soon as the user clicks on a category. Then I just have to remove all of the old logic, of course. And then as the last, most important step, implement the new gallery view. So implementing the spinning when the user clicks was actually quite easy because I already have all the logic for that in place, kind of, because of all my setup with the use custom navigate hook and all my state handling for the position and scale of the camera for all my other logic I coded before. I can just reuse the kind of stuff and detect the route change, because of course, as soon as the user clicks on a category image, I want to navigate to a new page. Because of that, I can just simply add all of my state changes inside of my hook, and there we have it. The camera spins around as soon as the user clicks on a category. Now comes the really interesting part. How do I get the images to display inside of the camera display? There are probably many different ways to approach this. Because I'm using React 3 Fiber and React 3 Dry and all of the stuff that comes with it, I chose to use the mesh portal material from React 3 Dry because this handles a lot of the heavy lifting for you. And I remembered that I saw a couple of really good examples of how to use this component. So basically, after just diving into these examples and trying to implement these in my own project, and a couple of weird problems, because of course I can never have a new feature without any issues, I finally got a basic example working. So for a quick rundown as what I did. First of all, I had to adjust my model a little bit because I had to implement the mesh portal material inside of my model code, because of course I only wanted the display to be affected and not the whole model. And from here, it's technically not more than just passing all of the images or components I want to be displayed inside of the portal as children to the mesh portal material. From here, I just had to get the positioning of the images right and implement the scrolling, which all worked pretty well, too well to be fair. So of course I have some final problems, which is why I couldn't really fulfill my whole vision yet. First of all, on mobile I have a couple of issues. One is that I'm not really happy with how it would be looking on mobile, because I had to spin the camera so that it would be displayed in a vertical view, but from here it looks not really good in my opinion. And the second issue is that the scrolling is inverted. This happens because I'm rotating the camera 90 degrees and the scroll view inside of the portal doesn't really recognize it. So when I tell the scroll view to scroll horizontally, it actually scrolls vertically, because if you think back, if I rotate the camera back in the original position, it would be technically correct. But yeah, it's weird. And one issue which I really didn't know how to approach anymore, and cost me way too much time again and frustration honestly, was I really wanted to implement a full screen view of these images. So what I wanted to happen was that when a user clicked on an image inside of a display, the image should transition to a full screen so the user can have a better view of the image itself. The problem now was that I couldn't detect which exact image was pressed, so I could open this image in full screen. Well, eventually I just gave up because I couldn't find a solution. So if anyone has any idea what workaround maybe would work, please let me know in the comments. So from here, my portfolio journey is mostly done, but this doesn't mean I'm not producing any content anymore, because I actually want to upload more frequently again. And I already have a couple of ideas what I want to do. So stay tuned and see ya.